I shared earlier today, I wish that every young person would develop the skill, like exercise the muscle of interpreting life generously. Because the primary determinant of the quality of your life isn't what happens to you, it's how you interpret what happens to you. And of course, political spin is what collective interpretation is all about. The fate of nations can be impacted by how we collectively interpret. Now, to speak about instincts, many people think of evolution as just, what happened in the distant past, or, like what's happening up there, out there, the galaxies and stuff. They don't realize that there's profound emotional and practical benefits of an evolutionary worldview. For example, you can have compassion for self and others in ways that's really difficult without understanding what's going on under the hood. We can move beyond denial, guilt, and resentment. Healing broken relationships becomes almost a no-brainer, and we can develop a witness capacity. So let's talk about how we can get to these core benefits from an evolutionary understanding of our nature. What our brain shows tremendous evidence of is that it was created by God, to use religious language, or you could say it evolved, it emerged over millions of years in an additive sort of way. There's the most ancient part of our brain, more recent still, and then the most recent part of our brain. The reptilian brain is the brain stem and the cerebellum. This is the part of the brain that's concerned with the basics of physical survival. You could say that the reptilian part of the brain really only cares about the 3 S's: safety, sustenance, and sex. Or you could say what the reptilian brain's really good at are the 5 F's: fight, flight, freeze, food, and copulate. Come on, I'm in a church. What do you expect? The old mammalian brain, the hippocampus, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, this is that gray part. This is the part of the brain that's concerned with the basics of emotional survival, social survival. It's all about feelings, emotions, bonding, kinship. Status is very important to mammals in the way that it's not with reptiles. Also play. You don't find reptiles playing in the way that you find all mammals playing. The neocortex, the new mammalian brain, only 2 new drives come into being with the neocortex: the drive to comprehend and the drive to predict. Now think about it. Comprehend and predict for what? Like, why would evolution produce an organ that was really good at comprehending and predicting? So the reptilian brain and the old mammalian brain can get what they want more effectively. And then, of course, the most advanced part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, this is the part, or sometimes called the frontal lobes, this is the part of the brain that's concerned with good judgment or poor judgment. It's the last to develop in young people. It only fully develops between the age of 23 to 25. See, parents know this. Car insurance companies know this. Now, this is pretty much standard day language. This is the way that any scientist or neurobiologist would talk about this. But Connie and I discovered about 5 or 6 years ago that if you want young people, like high school students and college students, and especially grade school kids, to think this stuff is cool and to talk to their peers about it, day language just ain't going to cut it. You need some night language to help you out. So we've created some night language animals to help us out here. So we've got our lizard legacy, our fur little mammal, our monkey mind, and our higher porpoise. So again, the lizard legacy is safety, sexuality, survival, the basics of survival and reproduction. The fur little mammal is feelings, emotions, bonding, kinship, status, and play. Oh, also notice that there's a demarcation there. One of the things that I'm trying to get at is it's not all warm fuzzies. There's something potentially very dangerous that happens in that part of the brain. It's called in-group, out-group mentality. See, we love and care and cooperate with our kind of people, but we can demonize and hate them, right? Now, of course, we got stories doing the same thing. Virtually every culture in the world has a sacred story that tells you why to behave very differently with the in-group than the out-group. The monkey mind is a term that comes out of Buddhism. The monkey jumps from branch to branch, eats a little fruit, eats a little fruit. It's like a rational verbal part of the brain, right? We're rarely in the present moment for very long. Did you ever realize? We're thinking about the past, right? We're worried about the future. It's one of the reasons our meditation and mindfulness practices are designed to take that ongoing meaning-making monkey mind and help it stay in the present moment a little bit more often. And then, of course, our higher purpose is our sense of higher purpose. It's our sense of God's will, our higher power. In fact, if you ask somebody who's hooked up to a functional MRI machine to think about their marriage vows or what they're most committed to, this is the part of the brain that's stimulated.